Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to kind of do a New Year's goals recap, word of the year, whatever type of video it is. It is 2023. I cannot believe it's 2023. 2022 was a year that just flew by. Like, it was here and then it was gone. Today Aubrey just actually texted me whenever I was out and about, and she's like, I just realized that I completely blocked off January through May. 2022 was the hardest year of my life. It started kind of how every other year starts. And I was just really stressed out in January. Aubrey was missing a lot of school. She wasn't herself. You know, we had been battling the thoughts of like eating disorder. And I would tell her doctor, you know, she's got eating disorder tendencies. She's like, she doesn't have an eating disorder. Would always blow me off on it. And I just let her blow me off on it. And I shouldn't have. And I'll never forget, on the day of the 27th, Aubrey again fought me to go to school. You know, I was already at work, and then I got a text message and it said something to the effect of like, it's bad, I need help, I'm passing out, I can't stand up, I haven't eaten in over a week. So I called her pediatrician. Her pediatrician was like, just take her to CHOA and get her fluids. Well, like, that's actually not what they do, which just shows like they had no idea about kids with eating disorders. But basically we went to CHOA, and I thought like they would give her fluids, we would go. They started talking kind of about the eating disorder. The saving grace in all this was about a week or two prior, I had taken her to urgent care within the same, it wasn't at CHOA, but like it was like the Children's Network, like in here. So like it was in a local one rather than the one in Atlanta where we were hospitalized. And they had her weight and they had her vitals and things like that. So we were admitted to the hospital under the realm of an eating disorder, and it was actually starting to shut down her body. Her heart wasn't working correctly. A lot of her levels were way off, and they had to fix them. So, you know, we were hospitalized for 2 to 3 weeks, came home for about a week, and then she went to a treatment facility just for eating disorders. She was there for a month until insurance kicked her out because her weight was kind of at like a healthy level, not realizing that like as soon as she was gone, like it was going to go back. So just from there, at home, she did partial hospitalization and then IOP, intensive outpatient. I think that's what it's called. So from January to the end of May, she was in some sort of treatment. The end of May, I lost my dog, Simba. I still don't understand why that happened. I'm mad at whoever took him. I shouldn't cry. I cry about him all the time. I need him right now. He just, I'll never understood why he was taken from me and when he was taken from me. He was only like 10 to 11 years old. And he died of heart failure. And it almost makes me feel like, this is probably stupid to some people, but you know, I could have lost my daughter, but instead I lost my dog, and he just kind of took one for the team and took over for her. He took the heart pumps for her. I came home from like one of the very few times I worked earlier this year, and he had waited for me, and he died within 5 to 10 minutes of me being home. I don't know if I'll ever recover from that. I didn't realize how much I needed him. And then we had kind of a normal summer. We were really trying to get Aubrey to the point of going back to school. And then she did go back to school, and things have kind of, I mean, anyone can tell she's lost weight. She's doing better. But she's still not better. But insurance has everyone by the balls, I feel like, and they decide everything. And so we're just trying to do the best that we can with what we have. I do feel like it's kind of scary to me, but I do feel like when she went into treatment that she almost kind of learned some tricks along the way from girls that had been there. You know, she had told me, oh, this is her second or third treatment facility. And I thought there's no way that girls go that often, but I see why now, because it's insurance. Insurance sucks. The girl that is doing the best there, her father was like a CEO for a major company, and so he paid cash for it. She was there for like 3 months, I think. She's the only one that's doing well, because in this country an eating disorder isn't, it's just, there's not, it's like a taboo topic. You just don't talk about it. In the fall, I was diagnosed with kind of like a PTSD type thing. Like, I am in constant fear of her dying, of being back in the hospital, of hearing the sounds of her dying in the middle of her sleep and them having to wake her up, and it just haunts me, and I have major just trauma from it, they say, and they say I'll you know, get better. I'll probably never be okay, but like, for instance, you know, we just went to Disney and it was our last day, and she had ate like pretty well for a bigger meal for her, and then she went to the bathroom. So I didn't say anything, and as soon as she closed the door and I kind of watched her go into the bathroom because I could see the bathroom from where I was at, I ran to the bathroom and I tiptoed in, and then I could see where she was at, so I was kind of like looking under the stall, and I noticed the lady was looking at me, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then I waited for her to flush, and I could hear that she didn't throw up. So then like I went to go leave, and then Disney had stopped me and were like, you know, what's going on? And the lady was like, you know, you made me uncomfortable. And then like, I didn't cry then, but I was like, okay. I was like, I understand how it looks, and I explained the situation, and I explained my daughter has an eating disorder, blah blah blah. And then they were like, the lady was just like, oh my god. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but you know, I appreciate you for doing that, because I have little girls and I can understand how that could look. But you know, it's situations like that, and then I feel crazy, and then, you know, it eats me alive, and it's just a whole thing. Also, from January to now, I have worked all of this year, but I have had to take a lot of time off to do my student teaching, because I wasn't able to do any student teaching last semester, or last year, like January through May when I worked, because I work in school. And so from January to May, I did not bring a paycheck home. So I cover like our retirement, our insurance, like health insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, like all those things. Like, a parent does not make a lot of money at all, but I'm able to cover those super affordably, like super affordably, like a quarter of the price that it would be through Jeff's job, if not even more than it, like a fifth of the price. So thankfully I was able to, and also like I only work, you know, so many months out of the year, and so for every paycheck that I work, they take a little bit out to put it into like a summer fund so that I can get a paycheck those 3 months that I wouldn't be getting one from school. And then, you know, they also take out insurance and all that stuff. So I was like not making money at all. Like I got a paycheck in January, and I don't think I got another paycheck again until like August or September. And then when I started student teaching, my paychecks were essentially cut in half because I was missing so much unpaid time for working. So financially, it's been really rough, on top of the fact that Aubrey's medical bills are expensive, super expensive. We sold DVC to pay for some of it, to basically get her into the facility, because at the time, like, all of our insurance stuff hadn't posted, and so like they needed money before she could go into the facility. So like I basically emptied out our account, and I had to sell DVC to like kind of give us like a buffer again. I lived basically in Atlanta for a month away from home. I had to buy meals when she ate them at the hospital, pay for parking every day if I needed to leave to go and grab something or whatever. I was like having to get coffee there. Like on average, I think we were spending like $35 to $40 a day for me just to be there, on top of the fact that I was paying people to pick up Ellie, because for a while like I couldn't even leave the hospital room. So like I was paying friends to like take Ellie home until Trevor could get here or whatever. Like my husband doesn't cook. He doesn't really know how to cook. And so like it was, I mean, we had we had a team of people that sent Aubrey stuff in the hospital. They sent us gift cards. So like we were, you know, doing DoorDash and stuff like that. But like there was also a little bit of time where, you know, we had run out of gift cards and people bringing food. And so we were also you know, supplementing things like that. I was sending the kids lunch money, which is kind of expensive because I wasn't here to make lunches. Like it was our expenses were at an all-time high last year, with me not working, with medical bills, with us basically living apart. And then, you know, when your child almost dies, you just, I don't even know what happens. Like, I just don't know what happens. And like when she was in treatment and everything, like anything she would want, even in the hospital, I would buy it for her. Like I remember one day she hadn't eaten in a few days in the hospital and she was about to get tubed again. And, you know, she had gotten tubed twice in the hospital. And I was just trying to get her to eat. So I was like, all right, if you can push through and if you can eat 75% of today's meals, I'll take you down to the gift shop and let you get whatever you want. And of course that stuff is super expensive. And she bought like an Aaron's putty and she bought a few things, but it was still like $50. Like, and like when she was in treatment, like, you know, honestly, when we were packing her up, we just kind of like threw a bunch of stuff together. And then like, as she got there, she was like, oh, okay, I found out that I like this or I like that. So like anything that she wanted, I would just order it for her on Amazon and just give it to her. And then when she came home, you know, I was doing whatever I could to just make her comfortable because I did feel bad for her because like, honestly, she was trying to complete school, which she did. Thank God she didn't miss any school. She had, I mean, her treatment days were long when she was in, like the partial hospitalization. Like I want to say she had to be on by like 8 o'clock and it was late. I feel like it was past dinner time when she would finally get off and she was on that computer all day long. So like if she wanted some stuff to do her nails or whatever, I would just give it to her. And you know, it was a lot about Aubrey. I remember one day we got like a guest pass, like, or not a guest pass, we got like a day off. So like we went into Atlanta and we went to like Nothing But Bunk Case because she had wished she had gotten to do, like they call it an exposure and treatment where like you have to go to a restaurant, you know, and like we were doing all these things and like we went to Starbucks and we went to Marshall's and like she actually wanted to buy clothes and that's like a huge thing for kids. Like, you know, that was one of our exposures. Like she had to go try on clothes and put clothes on. And so it was expensive. And for a long time of this year, it was, okay, Aubrey, whatever you want. Yes, 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 yes. And then the mom guilt comes in. And so then if the other kids wanted something, it was yes, 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 yes. So our expenses were like this and our income was like this. Like it was just, we were spending a lot of money. Thankfully, Aubrey is 15 and even Casey is 13. And I've had to have conversations with them that said like, look, mom wasn't working, dad was working, and we've paid all these medical bills and things are super, super expensive and we've given you guys a lot and now we have to kind of like compress it again. And they're pretty good about it. And like I told Aubrey, like Aubrey likes to do like a lot of things with like her like beauty regimen or whatever with like serums and whatever. And so I told her, I was like, look, we're going to have to figure out a number. You and I are going to, and she's like, well, we need to work together because your number's lower. And I'm like, that's fine. I'll compromise. But it's like, we need to work on a number of like, okay, this is how much you have to spend on your beauty regimen. You know, Casey, this is how much you can spend on your video game stuff. Ellie doesn't really spend a lot of money, so I don't really have to do much for her. But like, you know, we were like this and now we've had to come down to here. And you know, like bills and everything is so high right now. Utilities, like our food bill is through the roof. And I know I'm not the only one, and I know that this isn't like a rehab, like our treatment facility thing. Like this is just life right now. Like in the midst of us having an extremely high year, everything else in the world went extremely high. So last year was just a lot. It was a lot on me personally, physically, medically. I'm still really pissed off about my dog and I can't get over it and I need to get over it, but I'll figure it out. So I don't have many goals for this year besides to get over this trauma that I have. Like I know that I'm impeding Aubrey's success for a future by me constantly second guessing her, but like also she does things that like it'll be like, okay, well that's valid. So like her and I have to work on like our relationship, and I totally wish that I could afford to do like a group therapy for her and I, but I just can't afford it right now. But it's something that I would like to do by the end of the year, even if not group therapy for her and I, just group therapy or just therapy for me to get my head on straight. But like the word I could say that I want to do this year is just motherhood. That's the word I want to focus on this year. I want to focus on, I'm going to give my kids what my kids give me. I feel like all rules have gone out the window. You know, we have not really crazy rules. Like, I want them to tell me where they're going when they're going somewhere. I expect them to be home at a certain time. I don't want food and drinks in their rooms. They can have water in their rooms or clear liquids, but I don't want food and drinks in their rooms because it tends to like balloon. And I want their rooms to be tidy. I want the bathroom to be tidy. I want them to not be wasteful with items that they use and have and whatever. And if you know, they want something and they ask for something, then use it, or, you know, take care of it, or whatever. So the word I want to focus this year on is motherhood. And that's like a weird word because it's not really like a word like trust or faith or whatever. But for me, it's, I want to get back in control of my kids. I have a problem with being too friendly with my kids, I think, and I need to get, I need to keep the friendship that I have with them, but I need to get respect from them. That's the word I guess I need. You know, my son is 18, but I want him to tell me where he's going. I want him to do his part around the house. You know, all the other three will do a pretty good job. You know, it may take them an extra day or something, but they'll normally do what I ask them to do. I wish it didn't take as many times as me asking, but Trevor will just flat out ignore me. So that's something I want to work on with him. With Trevor, I want to work on getting him to graduate. I don't know his grades yet. I'm praying that he passed all the classes last semester, but our main goal with him is getting him to graduate. He also needs some mental health fix. He needs some therapy. He needs some psychiatry. Getting him into that to get him where he's a little bit less angry, a little bit more transparent. I feel like Trevor's going to tell you what he thinks you want to hear, and I would honestly rather him tell me the truth, and then we can deal with it that way. And also like getting him prepared to leave the nest. You know, I can't help him a ton, but I do think that it would be better or good for him to soar and fly and, you know, go into adulthood. He's not going to college, but I think that he will be a hard worker. He's super smart. Like, he's a really smart kid, and he's really funny, and he has that empath personality. And so I want him to start pulling more of the good and less of the like other stuff. And I'm hoping that therapy and psychiatry will get him there. With Aubrey, I want to continue putting her recovery in place. I think that her and I might be able to start looking at colleges next year. She's already thinking about colleges and thinking about what she wants to do. So I want to help her with that. She really wanted to do like a club volleyball or something like that, and I just couldn't afford it. It's just too much money. But maybe over the summer put her in some sort of camp or something if I can swing it. I would really like to do that for her. And then just kind of work on our relationship and being transparent with her, and kind of taking the focus on where this year was Aubrey's year, and now we have to kind of pull back from that and get back into reality. I really want to make sure she gets into driving school, because she will get her driver's license in September, which is terrifying to think that I'll have 2 kids driving. She kind of ebbs and flows, but she's definitely maturing and growing up, and my kids are all so very different, but like I'm very excited to see like what the rest of her sophomore year and her junior year brings for her. Like, I think she's getting a lot more confident and comfortable within herself, and she knows what she wants and she advocates for that. And I think that as long as we can keep on this path, we're gonna again be washing out the, you know, teenage hormones and all that, and keep pushing forward and getting her ready to graduate. With Casey he's really good. Like, everyone jokes he's my favorite. He's just my easy kid. He's my kid that doesn't give me a lot of crap. He's good, but like I'm having to like I really need to put my finger on him, because he's like he's 13, and so he's like trying to be a little bit more grown than he needs to be, and I just need to peel him back and be like, no, you got to tell me when you're going somewhere. You gotta, you know, do your part around the house for chores and things like that. And like, you know, Aubrey and Trevor are super busy, so I do kind of rely a little bit more on the little kids more than them, because they're in school and working and all these things. But I want to try to make it a little bit more fair and balanced. And then with Eliana, we started her ADHD testing this year, and I would really like to get that completed and get her tested and see if there's anything I can do to help her. Aubrey and I both see tendencies of an eating disorder with her, so we're really on it. And I think Aubrey is probably actually on it more than I am, and Aubrey will tell me, you know, that's not something you should do. You should say it this way, or you should whatever. And I mean, Aubrey can ride Ellie's butt hard about certain things, but Aubrey also has her best interest in place, I believe. And she's trying to make sure that because they both do have ADHD. You know, they both have some tendencies, and I think Aubrey sees some of herself as a young kid in Ellie, and so she's trying to make sure that she is as successful as possible in her future. And so, you know, at the end of this school year, Aubrey will be a junior, Trevor will hopefully have graduated, Casey will be going into 8th grade, his final year of middle school, and Ellie will be going into 5th grade, her final year of elementary school. And that's just insane to me. So I just want to ensure their future, get some control back, and respect. And I think the only way I can explain that to them is I'm going to give you what you give me. If you don't want to follow my rules, then don't ask me for anything, because I'm not going to do it. Because in the end, I can clean up, I can do their chores, I can go and take the food trash out of their room. But if I'm having to do that, then don't ask me for a ride. Don't ask me to take you somewhere. Don't ask me to do this for you, because I'm not going to do it. It's a respect, and we need to be on a level playing field. As for work, I have decided that I am going to work as a para until the end of this year, and then I'm going to take the next year off. I would have to quit in December anyways to student teach, and I just think that I need it. I think it's not going to benefit any classroom to have me there for half of a year. Unless like I get like a really great placement, because I've asked to get out of preschool. Unless I get a like insane easy placement like a kindergarten, then I could totally be a para in kindergarten, and then when I student teach, actually student teach in that room. So like the kids would know me, and then they would just have to hire a para for, you know, my role. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that makes the most sense. But I don't love my job anymore. I'm not enjoying it, and I think a lot of it is I'm done with special needs. I'm ready to be a gen ed teacher. I'm ready to be a teacher. I'm just not enjoying it like I used to. And education has also changed since I started working in it, I feel like. But I think that that's a common thing that you hear. As for school, I had to take a break because of finances, and I have to pay school, and I'm praying that I can keep going, but honestly, it's going to come down to finances and time. It's really hard to work 2 jobs, go to school, and maintain the kids, the house, and everything. I'm not going to kill myself over it. It's just not worth it for me in the end. As for the travel agency was just kind of put on the back burner this year. I help people when when they reached out to me. I didn't really push it a lot. I didn't do a lot for it. I can't say that I was like my top tier travel agent self that I'd like to be. But I was in survival mode, and I was very transparent whenever I took on clients that, this is what's going on. Now that the dust has settled and all that, I love being a travel agent. If I could, and I could work at it full time, I would do it, like, and, make it a steady income. However, in this stage of life, I can't constantly be leaving to travel and check places out and, do education opportunities and things like that. And with my schedule and things like that, it's just kind of hard, but it's something that I do love. Like, it brings me joy. Like, it is, if I have to sit at my computer and do travel stuff, I'm not like, ugh. Like, but every Sunday I have the Sunday scaries when it comes to going to work in the school. So, it's something I love. I definitely want to put more things in place. Like, I've put some good systems in place, but I want to get even better at that and get more organized with it. I just love it. We did just go to Disney World. I hope to take Eliana to Disney this year for her trip. We were debating between the end of May, like the end of school, but Casey's going on a church trip then, so I don't know if that's going to happen, because we could also do it like for my birthday, like my birthday, her trip, or where I don't plan on going back to work next year, we could do it for her birthday. I think we're leaning more towards her birthday, because then it'll be a while since she has been there and it'll be fun and exciting, and then we also haven't been in the fall in a really long time. But yeah, that is the only, I think, Disney trip that we will be taking, Disney World trip, I should say, that we will be taking. If Trevor graduates, I always told him, if you graduate, I will take you to Disneyland, and we would go to Disneyland as a family over the summer. That's a big if. And I also don't know if he's going to want to anymore. He kind of is like over us. He doesn't really want to be around us. He's an 18-year-old boy, and so if it's something that like, hey, he doesn't want to do it now, maybe he'll want to do it when he's 21. But that is a trip that we would take if Trevor graduates, if he wants to do it. The big thing that I told Jeff that I wanted to do this year is I want to take the kids on a cruise, and I want to do like a good cruise. Like I would really like to take them to Roatan to do sloths. I would really like to go to like Labadee, Haiti with Royal Caribbean. I think that that looks like a really fun place that my kids would enjoy. Of course, going to a private island. You know, last year we gave them the Disney cruise for Easter. When push came to shove, we just kept telling them, you know, this is what it's going to be. And they decided to take that money that we had put towards that and asked to put it towards Disney. And that's how we just paid for Disney. So I won't say that it definitely 100% won't be a Disney cruise, but I don't think their first cruise will be. I think it'll probably be Royal or Norwegian or something like that. I'm leaning more towards Royal. But that is the main travel goal I have this year. I really want to take my kids on a cruise. I think that they would really enjoy it. I want it to be a heavy port cruise. I don't want to be a lot of cruise day cruise, because Jeff and I did not enjoy that at all. We liked getting off the ship. We liked seeing different places, and I think the kids would enjoy that as well. And then Jeff and I have my very first sandals trip, and that's something that I want to do kind of for a personal trip and also just for education purposes, because I would like to get fluent in sandals. So we are going to take that trip this July. We were supposed to take it last July, but Aubrey had literally gotten out of rehab like a month prior, and I could not leave her. It just wasn't going to happen. That trip is going to be fun because I'm meeting up with my best friend from New England and her husband, and we're going there for a week, and it'll be right before school starts, so it'll be great. I'm very excited for that, and that's all we have planned for travel. It won't be a heavy travel year. Life is expensive. Life is super, super expensive right now. We literally got back from Florida, and I went to Target, and I spent like, I think $400, $300 or $400. Went to Costco, spent $200. Went to the grocery store like a few days later just to get like meal plan stuff for the next week. It was another $100. Like, it's insane. It's just too much money to live right now. So our travel plans definitely have to be pared down a little bit. But just a main goal that I want is just to get better, just to get through this trauma, get through this PTSD. I wish I could say that I want to lose weight, but I just still don't know what's going on with my body with Cushing's and all that stuff. I have lost weight like in my arms, but my stomach is still like a really trouble spot, which shows Cushing's, but my cortisol numbers are fine. So it's really, really weird. And no matter what I do, I just cannot lose weight. I don't know why. It's super, super frustrating. And I have sciatic pain and I have plantar fasciitis. I will say in Disney, with all the heavy walking that we did, my sciatic was actually the best it's ever been. And they said that. They said I needed to like stretch it out. I do these really weird stretches at night, and Jeff helps me like pushing on my back. So that's something that I definitely want to do, is just walk. I know that I do not have the time, the schedule, the money to be going to a gym a lot. And it's not that like gym memberships are expensive, but there's not a gym super close to me. Like, it's at least a 15 to 20 minute drive in any direction for like an affordable, like a Crunch, Planet Fitness type place. And when you factor in gas, wear and tear in your car, it just adds up. And I do have some stuff downstairs, so I'm not going to like put any pressure on myself, but I just would like to get using that stuff a little bit more. I would like to go on walks frequently. I live in Georgia. It's like 70 degrees right now. Like, I want to do that, and it's like kind of like therapeutic for me. Like, the things whenever I'm anxious or in this panic mode is I read. Like I read 124 books last year, or I like to walk. So that's something that I want to do. I want to go to the dentist and start working on my teeth. My teeth need some work done. I would like to keep going to the doctor and just figure out what's going on. I've debated looking into VSG surgery, but I just don't want to be like, I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm ready to commit to that type of lifestyle yet. I would like to see if there's anything I can do with like medicine or whatever to see if I can jumpstart something to maybe get the ball rolling. I did get a lot of health concerns fixed this year. I had some like really heavy bad menstrual stuff going on and they fixed that. I did get diagnosed with PCOS. So this year I would like to continue pushing a little bit harder on my health and, you know, taking advantage of the health insurance that I work for. I would like to continue reading. I have a great system going on in the house with like Sunday resets and, weekly chores and when I'm going to work and when I'm going to do schoolwork and things like that. And keeping on that is just, it helps me so much. I would like to take a focus each month and just work like in goals that way. Like, okay, this month I think I can lose weight, or I want to try to drink more water or whatever, because I did quit soda last year. That helped me feel a lot better. I toyed around with the idea of maybe like quitting tea at home, like just getting it like if we go out or whatever. Like, so I can't commit to any goals because I just know that that's not possible. And I learned last year that your life can change in an instant. But I am thinking of maybe doing like a monthly goal series. Like, okay, here's January, we're gonna do a no spend and we're gonna work on, like, I want to have like a focus room, kind of like how like organized Christmas is, like where you focus on something a week, but like, okay, the month of January we're going to focus on bedrooms and everyone's bedroom will get deep cleaned, and you know, each week I can focus on a different room, or you know, this month we're going to work on the kitchen, and you know, one week I can go through the cabinets, and you know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I want to do with goals this year. So that's probably something that you might see on this channel of like, okay, the monthly goals, the monthly check-in, how did we do type of thing. I do like doing Sunday resets, cleaning videos. Those are the type of videos I like to watch. We obviously filmed our Disney trip, and so those videos will be coming up. And I will have some kind of informative things of things that I liked, things that I didn't like, things that worked for me, tips, tricks. And then of course, when we go to Barbados, if we get to go on a cruise, anything like that, I will film those videos and the pre-face to those videos of packing and shopping for them and whatever. But I think that's how my channel is going to be this year. I'll post when I can. I don't do YouTube for the money. I just do it for fun, to kind of look back and see where I was, where I've been, how I'm doing. And I think it's going to be more of like a monthly check-in with me, for like projects and things like that on like an organized type level. I'll probably do Sunday resets a few times a week. You'll have Disney vlogs. I don't really vlog a ton of our life. Like, it's kind of mixed into our cleaning videos, like get it done with me type videos, just because my kids are all kind of doing their own thing and they're not really keen on being on YouTube as much as they used to be. So it's like, it's going to kind of be like you get what you get. If you get anything. But I wanted to do a very short, and it ended up being a super long kind of where we were, where we've been, and where we're going type of video. But thank you guys so much for your support. A lot of you came out of the woodwork this year and just did things that I never expected when Aubrey was in the hospital, and it was just so sweet, and I can't say thank you enough. Keep me in your prayers. I feel like I need them a lot right now because I'm just struggling. And I pray that this year is a lot better than next year, or even just a little bit better than last year, because I don't think I have it in me to do another year like last year. So that's it for now. I will see you guys in my next video.